Welcome to www.killthatnoise.com. And I'm your boy, the Cameron McMath. I got my man, Joe Son, with me. And today, we have the pleasure of joining us with Pac-12 honorable mention, Mr. Jacob Tuioti-Mariner of the UCLA Bruins. Appreciate you for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going, man? How's everything going over there?
It's going fine. Just training for my pro day and everything with TCR Sports Performance out here in Mission Viejo and everything. So everything's going well. I feel like my body's been changing over the past since my last game as he's Bruin.
Nice. All right, now going back into time, coming out of high school, you were recruited by a lot of big colleges, I would say, and you narrowed your list to Wisconsin, Arizona, and Boise State. But now, as we know, you're at UCLA. Kind of walk us through the process of how'd you end up at UCLA and not one of those three.
Okay. So I have 6 siblings in my family. Number 6 out of the 7. So all my brothers and sisters above me, they all went to college. Okay. They all went to college out of state. They all went. My 2 brothers, they went on to play football at University of Hawaii and University of Colorado. And my sisters, they played at Arizona State for volleyball and Cal State Dominguez Hills for volleyball. And so my parents, especially for football, weren't able to go to my brother's games a lot because, that's kind of an expensive fair trip, right, going out to Hawaii and as well as going out to Colorado each game. As my recruiting process, kept on going, and I kind of started getting noticed by the big name schools. I'm just thankful for all the schools that took opportunity on me.
Exactly.
And UCLA came in late. I've always told myself that if I ever had a local school, I was able to take a chance on me, most likely I would be able to go there. Right. And so UCLA took its first step. My championship game of my senior year, they offered me. Coach Moore called me, and I've kind of thought about it. I was kind of shocked, playing throughout my CIF championship game. I was shocked, like I didn't even know that happened. So yeah, it was kind of funny because I've kind of thought to myself that UCLA was outstanding in academics and as well as outstanding in athletics. They have the most championships, national championships in athletic history. So they have both excellence in both academic and athletic. So having that, being able to take advantage of, as well as my family being able to come to my games, kind of took a big part of why I chose UCLA and why UCLA stood out to me the most is because the degree, the academic aspect part of it, as well as the family environment that Coach Mora, Coach Angus, all of them were able to provide when I was heading towards it.
Gotcha.
So I noticed as most of your high school career, you was noted as a 2-star athlete until the later years. You became shot up to a 4-star athlete. Yeah. What can you say that you did? Do you feel like you did different to get noticed? Sure. Going into it to kind of break you onto the scene?
Yeah. Kind of throughout my high school career, I was a 2-star, 2-sport athlete. I don't know if you guys know this, but I started volleyball first.
Okay.
I played volleyball 7th grade year all the way up to senior year. And so kind of starting off football, I started football my freshman year in high school. Didn't really like football. Kind of hated going to practice every day. I cried to my mom freshman year. I was like, I don't want to play this sport. This is horrible and everything. And just I really wasn't into football. And kind of as the years went on by, my mom being my mom, she wouldn't let me quit. She was like, no, you're not quitting. You're not going to leave this sport. And kind of going throughout the years, it wasn't until my junior year going to senior year where I noticed that, kind of I was getting looked at as a volleyball player in high school, but, I found out that, high school volleyball and volleyball, the sport itself, doesn't offer full scholarship like football does. So I kind of, focused myself and, I was struggling kind of going up and down weight-wise, being a D-end as well as being a, opposite at volleyball.
Right.
Two different worlds. So, I had to, keep going up for football season and then drop it all back down for volleyball season. So kind of grew tired of that junior year. Going into my senior year is where I really committed to playing football. and I feel like that took its toll in the football field as well, is because I've kind of focused more on being a football player.
Well, shouts out to mom for making you stick with it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, growing up in the household, you say you had 6 siblings, and I'm assuming it's a competitive household. What is it?
Sure.
What is it like being the youngest one, having all these brothers going on to play college football, your sisters going on to play in college? What is it like having them around?
It's great. Our house is all close. We're all close together. When it comes to sport, we're such a competitive family. Whatever we do, either it's going outside of the car to grab the most groceries and coming back inside the house, or cut stuff, little stuff like that. Help us in the long run. Help us, kind of, take that path of paying back to our parents and what they did for us throughout our lives is kind of not making them pay for college tuition. And, because, that has been a big burden upon them if we, all 7 of us would have went to college.
Yeah.
But, kind of having older siblings as well as my little sister, it was a good, I feel like those 6 people right there are, the biggest blessings in my life, is because the 5 in front of me, they've set the path. They, carried the torch one by one of carrying our last name into different sports as well as, their different schools. They, they showed me the way of what or how it's supposed to be done. Gotcha. And everything. And, what it takes to become, a good student athlete as well as, a college graduate.
Exactly.
And, kind of keeping your head focused, staying ahead of everybody else and not falling into the traps of, others might will. So,
gotcha.
So it's amazing that family environment taught you these lessons, and we can kind of see it on the football field. Moving into the sport and playing at UCLA, we can see how progressive your career has been from year to year at UCLA. Stats improving every year. And this year you set personal best and career highs in every category for yourself. Mm-hmm. So what is it? I see that you're a big film guy and a studious person. You say you kind of learned that from your family members and your older siblings and stuff like that. Yeah. What kind of things do you say that you look at when you watch film that was able to help you gradually get better from year to year?
I'll start off my freshman year. I wasn't looking at the opponent. I was looking at the guys that were in front of me. I was looking at Owa Digzua, went off 3rd round to New York Giants. Looking at Kenny Clark, Packers, 1st round. Eddie Vanderdoes, 3rd round Raiders. And Tacker McKinley, 1st round Falcons. Mm-hmm. Deion Hollins, he was out there. I was looking at everybody that was out there. Aaron Wallace for the Titans. When I was a young guy coming in, I counted myself as a 2-star guy, because I got those 4 stars late. I knew I didn't have I couldn't have a lot to say because, in high school I wasn't highly recruited. Right. So I came in quiet and, I just wanted to learn from the guys that's been there, from the guys that, has the experience and everything. And thankfully those guys that I just mentioned were, I was thankful enough that they opened themselves up for me, right, for them to, teach what they have been doing or what they've, are about to do, kind of learning off of them, picking off of each of their brains. And that's kind of what I did over the years, was kind of, seeing what each guy does and molding it into my own, kind of seeing what Owa does throughout the edge, Tag does off the edge. And when I go inside, what Kenny and, Eddie did in the inside, kind of looking at everything and seeing as my years went by, just kind of learning off of everybody that's been there. And the most important piece, my coach, Coach Angus, he's a great coach. Allowed me, believed in me. He, taught me a lot of things. He taught a lot of great players and everything. So I would say just thanks to the guys that were ahead of me for letting me learn off of them and kind of, shaping into my own mold. And, when later as my years went on, that's when I first started, kind of looking at opponents and just kind of noticing teams are coming and everything. So yeah, it was more learning from the guys that were ahead of me, learning of the guys that are going to make it and are at the next level, succeeding and everything. So
Right.
Yeah, I just want to say I think that's a lost art.
Right.
So that's a lost art that a lot of people today don't take as serious sometimes is the film work.
yeah, that's especially for me. Kind of going down that line of the D line. I wasn't a guy that always stayed at the edge every game, the
Right.
whole game as well. I was a guy that, Coach Angus would be like, move inside, you got to go inside. And so that's where the film, takes place for me is when I'm looking at film, I'm not looking at my person. I'm looking at the across the board, listening to what Coach Angus is saying because you never know what situation you're going to be put in. You don't want to be out there knowing what to do. So kind of I'm writing down in my notebook because I'm writing down the notes in every notebook. I'm writing down every position. I'm writing down every position along the D line. I'm always everything he says to the nose guard. I know I'm not going to play nose guard that game, but you never know. So because I'm listening to what he has to say to the nose guard, and I'm writing that down because that I felt like that was my advantage of being versatile. And kind of my tool of kind of getting to the next level is just being able to play all positions, any positions that any coach wants me to put at, and yeah.
Right. Now you mentioned that you picked the brains of a lot of those guys that left as seniors. Now coming into your senior year, the defensive line, quote unquote, has a lot of potential, but there are a lot of young guys. Now your teammate Matt Dirgerson went down, and it kind of forced you to step into that leadership role. What made you take on that leadership role, and what are you telling those guys now that you're leaving, so you can leave behind, I should say?
This year as a senior, throughout the whole season, I've seen those young guys progress, and I'm happy that they did because the future is bright for them.
Right.
And working with those young guys every day, I was just, kind of astonished of how much they grew from the first day they stepped on campus to, the end of the last game. They've learned a lot, not only from, Coach, not only from me, but Coach Angus. And even when Matt stepped down, I'm not going to say I stepped solely into that leadership position because he was still able to,
right,
lead them off the field stuff. Lead them from in the film room when he, went. I mean, he went every day. He made sure the guys in 3 technique were, on the right path and everything. So, yeah. So I would say Matt Dickerson, still stuck with us. But stepping into a leadership role, I've kind of, I had to, kind of just remember what guy, I looked at when I was that young guy and everything.
Definitely.
And there's no better person that I personally think that was the greatest leader was Eric Hendricks when I was a freshman.
Okay.
He did everything right, literally everything right. So this senior year, my challenge was to myself was to be more vocal. I'm not a vocal guy. That's something that that's always been with me, but I feel like this season I've stepped out of my shell with being vocal and everything. So something that I have to say to those young guys is just keep working. There's a new coaching staff, so it's a new opportunity for them to show themselves out and show them why they were chosen there from Coach Moore's era. So
Gotcha.
And that's awesome. So you talked about the new coaching staff and things like that, and you wanted to be more vocal and things, but you have been pretty much a lead by example type guy. And we look and see that you kind of stepped up a lot and showed up a lot in the big games. One primarily the USC game. I think you finished with 10 tackles or so. Talk to me about that rivalry, man. How does that work? I mean, across the town, few miles apart, preparing for that. What does that mean to get ready for that game every year since you've been there?
I hate them. I hate them with all my heart. But it's a great rivalry. Everything that's being televised about the rivalry is all true. It's a great rivalry to be a part of, and I wish that all high school recruits get to be a part of rivalry that's that kind and that type of rivalry. So the SC, USC, they're great opponents. Great week. It's always a great week to play a football game. I mean, it's just a football game, but having that rivalry adds more to the hype. So especially for me, it was interesting because I had a few of my childhood friends that were on the USC's O line. They had I call them my family. It's the right guard and the left guard. They both played guards, so it was a good competition throughout the years and everything. So
Nice. Now you mentioned the new coaching staff for the younger guys. Looking into your situation, how was the transition coming from Jim Moore, that you're there with him since your freshman year, then Jed Fish steps in, and then they hired Chip Kelly? What's that transition like for you guys?
Not gonna lie, losing Coach Moore was a big blow. It really sucked. That was my guy. That was the only coach that came to my house and visit. Got to visit my mom in my house, in my environment. He was the only coach that was consistently believing me from the day he offered. So he was my guy. I loved him to death, but seeing him go was heartbreaking. But that's all part of the game. That's all part of the business that football is part of. So we moved on to Coach Fish, and I'm so happy we were able to move on to Coach Fish because he stepped in and really led our team. Obviously, we didn't win the game that last game that he was a head coach of, but off the field and on the field, coaching wise, I was very appreciative of having Coach Fish step in like that and everything.
So let's talk Cactus Bowl. What does that do for going into that game and the way it finished out? What does that do for the young people with the leadership examples that you and the seniors did to be able to finish in the Cactus Bowl the way it was? What does that do for motivate the young people moving forward?
It just motivates them to get better. Motivates from learning from that film, learning from the game's goals, learning from the loss that we took. Especially leading from halftime, going into halftime, and then ending up with a loss, kind of sucks. But it proves to them to learn from that game and learn from the opportunity that bowl games provide to not let up for a bowl game and always kind of just pushing to the end and everything. I'm not saying that we let up. We were lackadaisical the whole preparation for that game. I'm just saying that as the years go on, make sure you guys finish through and make sure you guys finish strong.
Gotcha. Now you're on the defensive side, and let's go over to the offensive side. You're going up against a top prospect in this year's draft in Josh Rosen. Talk about how has that helped you in your maturity process in your game. What has he done to help you, or how has practice been like to help your game going up against one of the top prospects?
Sure. Been going against him for 7 years now. We went to the same high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, went to the same high school and everything. So we went at it for about 8 years. But that's a good guy. That's a good guy right there. A lot of people, take his intelligence the wrong way. He knows what he wants. I'm a big fan of Josh Rosen. But, kind of people just take him, for arrogant. And I just don't see it because, people from the outside don't know what Josh wants and how Josh is and, what Josh knows. Because that kid knows a lot. He's very smart, very intelligent. And, he has his own way of doing things. So his maturity as the years went on from high school to his junior year, grew. And it definitely helped me, especially because, that's an ideal quarterback right there. So, having him read his routes, having him, be patient back there in the pocket, as well as, kind of just doing everything that a typical NFL quarterback would do, really helped me with my pass rush and everything. See what time, like how the timing is, how his timing is, because I'm patterning him to, guys like Bateman and guys like, all those guys, because he will be there one day.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
he helped me a lot.
So hearing you talk about roles and how complimentary you are. So let me give you this. You were quoted saying one day that nobody's higher, nobody's lower coming in to positions and things, regardless of how many stars you were and how big you recruited. Having that mentality, pretty much saying, regardless of where you come from, you can do it if you work for it. Having that mentality, what does that do for you transitioning to the next level, to the NFL?
I'm taking it the same approach. Don't matter how big you are, don't matter how fast you are, it's all football. It's man-to-man against man-to-man. So, I'm kind of taking that who's a bigger man than who. So, kind of relating to that, that star situation and everything, it's kind of interesting because a lot of kids, as social media gets bigger each and every day, kids are starting to, do these, I'm not saying ridiculous, but do these kind of big commitment videos and big,
Definitely.
here, I'm going there. So it's good to see. I love it because they're going somewhere. They're really, taking the next step of life. But that situation is, they will find out in college that, if you go into college thinking that you're, it's kind of double standard. You want to go in college thinking you're the guy, but don't let anybody else think you're the guy. Think that you're thinking to yourself you're the guy.
That's good advice.
Right. You don't want to go to college being cocky, because that locker room in college is going to be the best place you've ever been, because that's where you grow tons of relationships, tons of bonds, and that's a brotherhood right there. And you're not going to forget any of those moments and stuff. So that locker room environment, that team, that brotherhood, you're going to be with for the next 4 years, and so on. So,
gotcha. Now, transitioning to the NFL draft, the combine, talk to us about who you're working with and what are you doing physically and mentally to prepare yourself for the combine, the draft, and your pro day.
I'm working with TCR Sports Performance. They're based out here. Well, they're based out there in the Empire, out in Umplin, but we are out here in Mission Vieja Hill right now, training out here at a sports park and everything. So we're out here training. My personal goals is I want to, stay in the 260, 265 range. I played DN last year at 285.
Okay.
I weighed yesterday at 268, so I'm almost at my
progress, baby.
3 weeks before my pro day, so I'm heading there. I have a lot of goals set for me right now, so that 40 is very important for me, as well as the bench is very important for me. So
what's the numbers? Have you set a number for yourself for the 40 and the bench?
Let me tell you, man. The numbers for the 40 is around 4.7, 4.8, like that area.
Okay.
And the bench number is 25, 24, 25, somewhere around there.
Gotcha. Besides football, what is something that you really want to accomplish off the field?
One that's I would say mostly football players, goals to give back to their family. I'm not speaking for everyone, but that's one of my goals, and one of my, aspirations is just to, kind of give back to my mom and dad, as well as provide for my brothers and sisters. But, giving back to the community is huge. I'm a community guy. I'm all about, how you grew up and how it's taken part of your life. Help those that are in need, because, I didn't have a lot when I was growing up. All 7 of us, imagine 7 kids, 2. So, we all didn't have anything, but it's crazy because we didn't know that we were so, we didn't have anything because we had each other.
Right.
Having so much fun while we were young that we didn't know how broke we were at some time. Let me tell you. So it was a good time, but I want to help those kids that are, in that situation, and, kind of gear students towards, going to school and, having that ambition to, finish school and, do things that they want to do and stuff.
So I know the family thing. You mentioned how many brothers and sisters you had, and that's an amazing job that your parents did for you say you not to realize
Yeah.
how broken so you were. But moving forward in this process, and I know family is big in your heritage and your background and things like that. What kind of support are they giving you moving forward in this draft process?
They support me 100%. They're supporting me with everything I do. I'm kind of, not letting them too much into what I'm doing because I don't want them to stress. I don't want to put the stress on them and worry about, kind of everything that's going on with me and everything. I want the full effect of the process, full effect of, the stress, full effect of, everything. I don't want them to worry about anything. And hopefully I'll only want them to see the fruits of my hard work and everything and kind of seeing, the positive that's going on and stuff. So they support me with everything I do. I talk to them. They ask me every time I come home, how's work, how's training, how's everything. I just, I give them the answers. I give them like, yeah, it's good. I mean, it's long, but it's good. So I don't want to go, in too deep because I don't want them to worry about that I'm doing. But that's all part of being a parent because, no matter how old you get, no matter how, far away you will be from your parents, they're still going to be worried about you and everything. So.
Yeah. Yep. 7 siblings though. Mama had to break up a lot of fights.
Yeah, no.
just had to, right? So let me ask you this: Who is the best athlete out of the 7?
I'm telling you, I am. Not to be cocky, but that's the only that's the only way. That's the only reason why I'll be cocky is against my siblings. That I think I'm the best athlete.
Now, if they hear this, if they hear this, they gonna agree?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just playing, but I think one of my sisters, she's pretty athletic. She's athletic.
All right, now I'm gonna put myself in the shoes of an NFL scout, of a GM, maybe even an owner. You said you're a big community guy and stuff like that, but I want to know what type of player am I getting if I draft you into my organization?
You're getting a well-taught, well-coached, versatile player that will do anything to be on the team, do anything to, earn your respect. I'm, whatever you need me to do, I will do it. I'm a hardworking guy. Never complain. Kind of anything you guys needed me to do. I'm well coached. I can, I'm open to, any type of coaching, open to any type of learning. So, whether it's, coach chewing my butt out or, coach, pointing to the board and teaching me, I can learn anywhere. I'm just a guy that will do anything to, kind of be at a place that I would love to be. So,
gotcha.
So let me ask you this: you get drafted, you make it to the league, and I know a lot of guys. Before you make it to the league, it's a lot of respect for a lot of these big guys watching and moving forward. Give me the one guy, offensive tackle, quarterback, whatever, being the defensive end, that you look forward to. Say, I want that challenge, so I can show what I'm doing.
Man, to be honest, when my brother was playing, he was recruited high. My older brother that went to Colorado, he was recruited high, and the guy that he was like kind of competing with because they played the same position, they both played O-line. He was from Rancho Verde, Marina Valley. I still know him from when I was young, and I didn't even like football when I was young. But Tyron Smith is a guy that I want to go against because he grew up with my brother, and he took it to the next level at USC, and now he's at the Cowboys, doing his thing. So it'll be a fun match. Kind of Tyron Smith is a guy that I would have the honor to play against.
Definitely.
Looking forward to this because I respect his game. I respect everything he does because not only does from how young I was and looking up to him and looking at what he does is to now, but how he plays the game now and everything. So
definitely.
It's a big challenge, but
that's a big challenge. Especially the Cowboys having one of the better offensive lines right now in the league. That's a big challenge.
That's the cream of the crop right there.
Yep. But that's all part of football. You want the challenge.
Definitely. All right, so we're gonna switch it up now. We're gonna go rapid fire. We're just gonna throw questions. You give us your best answer at the top.
What? All right.
Now, the most controversial one we have, MJ or LeBron? Who you got?
Yeah. Can I even answer Kobe? Because I don't even like none of them.
Oh,
Hey,
Y'all
if
didn't
that's how you
y'all
feel
didn't
about it,
You
yeah.
guys didn't even put the GOAT up there.
Oh,
is that an LA question? I have to ask you that.
yeah.
Is that an LA answer?
That's a for sure LA answer.
Okay, so cool.
Okay, we could take it. We could take it. We could take it.
I'm gonna choose
Kobe. Okay. So let me ask you this: Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Oh,
Grew up Xbox. But PlayStation low key been getting me sometimes because I've been looking at a few games that are coming out this year. So
what you playing?
I'm playing Xbox right now. I'm playing PUBG and Fortnite.
oh.
That's it.
Definitely.
We got to get on that PUBG then.
Yeah.
All right, so throughout practice, you got Gatorade or Powerade? Which one you like better?
Powerade.
What flavor?
Purple Powerade.
Purple? Okay.
Purple. Yeah.
That's what I say. The best one is too. Great parade. So let me ask: who was the greatest Mike in their era, in their prime? Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson.
Wow, what the? I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson because he was the one, and I love music. I love music. That's the thing I live for. I live with music. That's my best friend. So I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson.
All right. So being about music on game day, give us a top 3 on your headphones. Who you got?
I got Future. I got Travis Scott, and sometimes to calm my nerves down, I got Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Ooh, boy, you in there?
Yep.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
You got it.
Classic. Ooh. Yes, sir. So let me ask you this: you're a music guy, so there's an argument to this day. Who the best rapper alive? You got Weezy, Drake, Jay-Z.
Dang. I'm gonna go with Jay-Z.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Jay-Z because Weezy, he was good. Weezy was good when I was a middle schooler and kind of died off. Drake started late, and I don't know how long Drake's gonna go for, but Jay-Z starts all the way back then. And he's still going strong.
Still going.
So I'm gonna go Jay-Z.
Gotcha. Now being a defensive end guy, I'm gonna put you in a little tight box here. You got Aaron Donald or you got J.J. Watt. Who you picking?
I'm gonna go Aaron Donald. I'm gonna go Aaron Donald. I respect J.J. Watt's game, but Aaron Donald, a guy that I pattern myself after.
Okay.
I look up to that guy. He's one of the shorter guys. Kind of not the ideal size that NFL's been preaching about. So, I look up to Aaron Donald, and over the past few years, he's been doing damage. So,
changing the game.
Yeah, change the game.
Definitely changing the game.
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
All right. So for your last dish, what do you got? You got seafood or you got steak?
Dang, that's a hard question. Wow. Let's go seafood.
Okay, what are you having on that plate?
Shrimp, crab legs, and lobster.
Shrimp, crab legs. Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that's the one. That's the one.
You're in a perfect spot for it over there by the water now. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And we do want to say we want to thank you for joining us. Right now, is there anybody you want to shout out? Anybody you want to leave a message to? The floor is yours now, man.
Shout out to God putting me in this blessing. Give me a life full of opportunities. Shout out to my parents. They've been doing the most since I was born. They've been doing the most, and they extra with this. So that's what I'm happy for. Shout out to everybody that supported me from day one. Shout out to my role models. There's a lot of shout outs that's gonna go on. If I keep going. Shout out to Garrett.
Shout out to who in your background. Shout out.
And shout out to all my people I'm working with in this process right now that I'm preparing for with my brothers that were from different schools. So
Definitely, man. We appreciate the time, man. Once again, we're www.killthatnoise.com. I got my man Cam over there, and we had the pleasure of Jacob Tuioti-Mariner for joining us. Signing out.
Yep, appreciate it.